This was something that I never thought I will ever do. In my mind, I never thought I will ever go to Belgium. But I think I was ready. And it was very important that I do this journey. I was in Belgium. All the past I relived. This story has to be told, and people have to know that this did happen, and we are the last witnesses. Good morning. My name is Tomi Reichental. I'm originally from Slovakia. I'm living in Ireland 46 years, and I'm Jewish. I'm here not because who I am, but because what I am. I am a survivor of the Holocaust and one of the last witnesses to this horror that happened not long ago. And I stressed it that I'm one of the last witnesses because when I was incarcerated, I was 9-year-old, so anybody older than me is slowly passing away, and anybody younger than me doesn't remember much what happened. I really had several lives that I went through. I started in Slovakia. I was in concentration camp. Then I lived in Israel. I was in the Israeli army. Then I came to Germany. I studied engineering and finally ended up here in Ireland. And that's, I think, it's my end station for the time being. I came to Dublin in 1959, hardly spoke any English, and I came here to set up a zip factory. In late 1960, I met a Dublin Jewish girl, Ivan Blackman. It's interesting how I met Ivan, because I wasn't mixing at the time much with the Jewish community. It was a big Jewish community at the time. And one day I went to see a picture, and actually it was an Israeli picture, and I was introduced to this Irish Jewish girl. We fell in love very quickly, and in March 1961 we got married. So what we have to do is to put the right pieces, the right order. Okay.
I love carpentry because my granddad taught me how to do loads of stuff.
Okay, I put the glue, Zoe, yeah?
I put these things in.
And you then put the biscuit.
He's very good with his hands because he can build like cupboards and wardrobes and all your furniture for you because he built all that stuff for me when I was little. He gets me involved like cutting the wood and stuff.
Okay.
Instead of just like showing me, I get to do it too.
Nice?
Yeah, we did a really good job.
We did a nice job. It's nice, yeah?
Yeah.
Not a good job. Ivan was a lovely girl. We had a very, very happy marriage. And we were very happy. We raised 3 children. We were together 42 years. And unfortunately, 5 years ago, she was struck with cancer and she passed away.
I'm very proud of my granddad. He's really brave the way he tells his story to everyone.
Well, I'm going on a long journey, and I show you. I'm starting from Dublin, and from here we go to Bratislava and then to Merašice in Slovakia, where I used to live. I'm going to retrace the story of my family. After 63 years, I think I'm ready for it now.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Merašice was a small village in Slovakia. When I was growing up, about 700 people lived here. My father had a small farm holding, but he was a very hard-working man. And we lived here for generations. I mean, this is a place that brings very nice memories. And the people were very friendly. Well, there were 4 of us, my father, Arnold, my mother, Judith, and my brother, Mickey, who was 4 years older than me, and myself. We lived side by side with my grandparents from my father's side, my grandfather Tomi Reichental and my granny Katharina. My father, like his father before him, grew up in the village. My mother, on the other hand, was a city girl from Budapest. It was an arranged marriage, but the match worked very well. They had their honeymoon in Venice, which was at the time quite a thing. Just walking through the yard, where as children we used to play here. My grandfather had a shop in the front, and it was the shop of the village. And there was actually a well here, which was only 2 or 3 wells in all the village, which was in our house and opposite house. There were about 3 Jewish families lived here. And in the last couple of years, the building and everything collapsed. So I just looking at this, and for me, it's all nice memories. But there is nothing left. Well, that's how it is.
Mám bohaté spomienky na nich, bohaté spomienky. Robil som u tvojho otecka na gazdovstve 4 alebo 5 rokov. 4 alebo 5 rokov. Keď ma potreboval na konoch robiť, tak som išiel na konoch. Dojil som kravy a krvil. Mal som dobré výsledky. Tvoji rodičia si ma veľmi obľúbili, pretože som bol úprimný, voči nim kamarátsky a používali ma na všetko. Mal som u nich veľmi dôveru. A chcem povedať, že tvoj otec, aj tvoja matka, ale aj tvoj otec, ako môj predstavený, bol vynikajúci človek. Bolo nás 6 alebo 7 zamestnancov, ktorí sme robili u neho. Všetci boli spokojní mali sme sa lepší. Treba povedať ešte jednu vec, že aj tvoji rodičia boli takí, aj váš otec takí dobrí, všetci, čo sme u nás slúžili, keď predával tu majetok, nám daroval každému hektár a pol, ešte do Leskajšku má hektár a pol.
Od mojho otca.
Áno, hektár a pol by dal.
To som ani nevedel.
To je môj majetok.
Ja. Karolko, ďakujem ti za všetko a však my sa vždy ešte stretneme.
Dobre.
Okay. Dobre. Všetko najlepšie. Everybody knew each other. First of all, in the village, the priest was the personality. The people went every Sunday to church and masses. But if somebody needed good advice or a little bit of help, they would go to the Jew. They would advise them what lawyer would be a good lawyer, a Jewish lawyer, or what good doctor, a Jewish doctor. And it was a tradition because Jews were not allowed to work in a trade, and therefore they choose to be people in business, lawyers and doctors, and they were very successful. And the extremists hated the Jews for this reason. They said the Jews are taking all the good jobs. And I remember for the first time when I realized that I was different and I was hated. This was the school in Merašice. This was the national school in Merašice. But of course, because I was Jewish, I was not allowed to go here. And this is the reason that I had to go to the neighboring town, Nitra, which is not far from here, where I started my first year in school. When I went my first day to school, I had to wear the yellow star on my left side. It was about the size as I have it here. And in the middle was written Jew. So you can imagine when I saw children coming opposite me, I had to run to the other side of the road. Because if they got me, they would beat me up. And of course they shouted after me, "You dirty Jew, you pig Jew," and worse thing, and they would spit at me.
Die deutsch-slowakische Kampfgemeinschaft wurde durch einen Besuch des slowakischen Staatspräsidenten Dr. Tiso und des Ministerpräsidenten Professor Tuka beim Führer erneut bekräftigt.
Slovakia at the time was ruled by a priest. His name was Joseph Tiso. He was a big anti-Semite, and he admired Hitler and hated the Jews. Tiso stripped us of our civil and religious rights. In 1942, his regime moved to get rid of the Jews. His government actually paid the Nazis 500 German mark for every Jew deported to the Reich. My father's parents, my grandparents, Katarina and Jecheska Reichental, and other relatives were rounded up in the first wave of arrest in 1942. Here I'm standing in the entrance of a shop that belongs to my grandfather. Of course, in 1942, the Slovak government, under the Tiso regime, closed it because Jews were not allowed to be owner. And many businesses were closed and many confiscated. In 1942, they were brought here to Auschwitz. At the time, we didn't even cry for them because we thought they're just going away for a while till this time will pass and we will be reunited. But as we know, when they arrived to Auschwitz, they also come to the selection and they perished in gas chamber. My stomach is heaving just to think about this waste of people that were murdered in this place. Millions, 500,000 children.
Dear Tommy, my name's Denai and I'm a sixth-year history student. When you study history, it's all very much out of books, documents and notes our teacher gives us. Your talk to us was so much more than that. It gave us a chance to dimly see, through your eyes, the true horror that was the Holocaust, although we can never truly imagine it, and I'm certain that none of us will ever want to.
My father's brother, Tomi Reichental, was a very bright student, talented, caring young man. He graduated as a doctor, and his reputation was very well known. He was one of the last doctors to look after the patient in the town of Stettin in Czech Republic. He was also involved in anti-Nazi underground. Last year we didn't know this monument existed. There are many monuments in Eastern Europe, and now I'm finding that among the heroes, names of my family. He was a good man. He could have contributed so much to the human race. He was captured in 1939. He was brought into prison in Breslau, which was at the time a German city, but now Breslau is called Wrocław. It's a Polish city now. All the Germans are gone. We are in front of the prison where my uncle spent over a year. I'm finding out here now that what we thought all the time, that he was hanged. It transpired that in fact he was guillotined. He was executed by the German on the 29th of April, 1943, at 16 hours, 40 minutes. And I have his last letter that he wrote 27th of January, 1943. 3 letters and one exclamation mark persecuted me all my life, in school, during my final exam, seeking my job, in community, everywhere. Jew.
We're very honoured to have with us today Tomi Reichental. We're going to plant the crocuses that we were talking about yesterday for Holocaust Memorial Day. Just pop it in there, Tommy. That's fantastic, thanks a million. There, Diana and Cheryl. Cheryl, good girl. That side turlet's there, great. Good boy.
This is my aim now. I'm retired. I like to tell the young people because they know very little, and I actually tell them about my own experiences.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's great to see you've come